5 great ideas for healthy relationships during quarantine and crisis. You know, it's hard enough maintaining a relationship when we're not in crisis or in quarantine, as we've been with this COVID. And so I know that being together a lot or being quarantined in a specific area makes things a little bit harder, but it's a great time to really reinforce your relationships with a loved one or with a romantic partner. And we have plenty of time to do so, since we have been in this situation for quite a while and there is currently no end to it. So I'm going to give you some ideas that may help you. And the relationship department, create a beautiful, positive relationship even in quarantine and crisis. So the first thing is reprioritize your needs and goals. So because things are different, because we're quarantined, we might be in a space for a long time, we can't go out and do the things that we would normally do a lot of times. Make a list or journal and reprioritize your needs and goals. What do you need as a person? What are your goals during this time of crisis or quarantine? You know, what are some of the things that are important to you as a person? And each of you should write this down. So if you're looking at this in a romantic relationship, then have the other person do the same thing and hand each other the paper. Let each other know what your needs are. You can't read minds, and neither can the other person. They need to know what your needs are and what your goals are, so that you can help each other get to those goals in the relationship that you have. Maintain connection and conversation. And during this time, particularly times of crisis or times of quarantine, we really need to take extra care in that our conversation is positive and warm, genuine and empathetic towards the other person. It's so easy to let things flare up and we feel emotions, and especially if we're spending a lot more time with somebody that's we don't normally do. It takes time and it takes work. This is work. So this is something that you have to consciously do. If you're just going willy-nilly into a relationship, then when things flare up, you don't know how to handle them, but they'll flare up more often, right? So really take the time and make sure that when you're in conversation with your loved one or your romantic partner, that you're being warm, you're being sincere and genuine. You should have your own boundaries, but there's no reason why you can't be empathetic towards someone else as well, while keeping your boundaries that you need to for yourself. Rely on positive motivations. In other words, if someone makes a mistake or doesn't take the trash out or whatever the case may be, be positive about it. Maybe take it out yourself or do some things that you normally wouldn't do. But this is not the time. A crisis time or quarantine time is not the time to get down negative on somebody and berate somebody because they made a mistake or they did something that you felt was wrong. It's a time for compassion. It's a time for maybe you stepping up a little bit more than you normally do to get some of the things done, or whatever the case. But rely on positive motivations. Instead of negativity and berating people. You really want to keep the energy very positive and uplifting if you can. Gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful that you have the time. This is now the time to be able to do some of the things that you didn't have the opportunity to do before. Spending more time together, really getting to know the person, listening, doing things for the other person, and really cultivating the relationship that you have with that person. It's, be grateful for the fact that you have a relationship with that person, and that all the things in your life, whether it's big or small, grateful that you're alive today. I mean, You know, it's the more gratitude we have, the more we will have what we want to have in our lives. It's the energy that we put out, and if we put out grateful energy and energy of gratitude, then that's what we're going to receive back in our lives, particularly in relationships. Build trust and commitment. You know, no matter what the situation, there's always going to be things that come up. Maybe a small argument, maybe disagreement, but making sure that you're building trust and commitment. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. If you're committing to things just to make the other person happy, but you can't follow through, then don't do that. Think about building trust with the other person. If you've committed to something and then you don't do it, that does not build trust. You want to build trust. If you say you're going to make dinner that night, or whatever the case may be, it's your turn to do the laundry or whatever, then you need to follow through and build the trust with the other person. And they do the same thing. This is a two-way street. You need to trust each other. You're going to be with each other a long time. You're in the same space a lot more than you normally are. So building that trust and commitment is really essential. Engage in problem solving and forgiveness. So if there's an issue or a challenge that arises, which always happens, that's the way life is, then you want to engage, or you want to go into the challenge with a mind of problem solving. You want to, how can we solve this problem? How can we look outside the box? What other things can we do to make this better, whatever the challenge is? And it's amazing what you can get done, especially with another person or with a relationship, when you have that mindset of problem solving instead of saying, oh, I hate this, or this isn't working, and I'm going to quit. Everything is figure outable. It just takes a little bit of thinking outside the box and thinking of different ideas that you may have never thought of, and getting the advice from somebody else, and get the other person maybe, and engage in conversation in a problem-solving way. And then forgiveness. If somebody makes a mistake or does something, leaves the cupboard doors open, or doesn't make dinner on time, or whatever the thing is, show some forgiveness. This is a tough time for everyone. It's tough for you, it's tough for the other person, and it's really up to us, ourselves, how we treat other people. So if we're showing compassion and forgiveness, and we're looking at things in a problem-solving way, and we show gratitude, or we feel gratitude, then the other person's going to show that back, and it just makes it for such a much better relationship. It does take work, so you really want to think about this. We are in a tough time. The quarantine or the COVID is still happening, and there's no reason why we can't learn to cultivate our relationships, whatever they may be, instead of making them worse, or that type of situation. And last but not least, if you need to get some help, get a coach that maybe can help coach you through some things, or maybe can see some of your blind spots. We all have blind spots, and everyone needs a coach. So hire a coach. We do coaching at GILD Coaching, so you can go to our website, www.guildcoaching.com. We have coaching for executives. We have coaching for trauma and addiction, all kinds of different things. So if you need relationship help, business help, please contact us and see if there's something that could help you. So if this video has been of service to you and you found it helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, and of course you need to subscribe to us. You're not going to want to miss the upcoming episodes that we have. And if you know somebody that could use this advice, maybe they're having some relationship difficulties during this time of crisis, go ahead and send this off to them. I'm sure it will be helpful to them, and they will be so grateful that you are helping them out. So thank you, and we'll see you on the next video.